you said that he called you and you knew that he had DM'd those girls, and then he broke up with you because he said, after what you have done and who you messaged, I can't be with you. I have health issues and family problems, so yeah, but I'm talking to someone, so I want some space. Interesting. Now, I want to go around the panel on this because I've heard about these things, these loyalty tests. Although typically you don't hear them being done within two weeks of meeting somebody. Granted, it's complicated because he did ask you to be the girlfriend. So I suppose there's some expectation. Well, did he say he was going to be monogamous?
Yes.
Or perhaps that's implied. I don't know, but
I would say that's implied. Like, I don't see who would not understand this as implied.
It's fair to say.
Otherwise,
why
would you ask that?
Even if there wasn't an overt conversation about exclusivity or monogamy, if there's a boyfriend-girlfriend conversation.
That's kind of what it means.
To clarify, though, he did in fact say, I want you to be my girlfriend, and you said yes.
Yes.
Okay. Had you guys hooked up?
No.
Did they hook up?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So it is complicated, though, insofar as you went on one date. He moved things along very quickly, but I suppose there was an expectation of loyalty. Do you think he was trying to make you his girlfriend in furtherance of trying to sleep with you as fast as possible?
He said that he wanted a stay-at-home mom.
That doesn't really answer my question, though. So do you think he was trying to move things on really quick? Hey, first date, I want you to be my girlfriend, so that he could hook up with you quicker?
No, I don't believe so. I think the reason why he did that was because he's like, he wants to settle down. So he's kind of like moving things kind of quickly.
Okay. Opening this up to the panel, is it acceptable to test your partner? Well, start with you. I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I'd like to hear some reasoning.
I personally did that because I felt like I had no other choice, and there was like no other like way for me to find out. And I feel like with my like gut feelings, I would always like, my gut feelings is always right, so I just went through with it. But I know some people probably think that's wrong.
Have you done a loyalty test before?
No, it was just with him.
Just with him. Okay. What about you? Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Is testing your partner acceptable?
No, I mean, like, logically speaking, if I want to be with that person, it's because I trust that person. So if I already have that feeling, I don't see that being coherent. You know what I mean? Wanting to be with and that whole story, it's a little crazy. It's crazy. One day is nothing, and then he wants to a stay-at-home mom, and it takes you one day online to figure this out. This guy doesn't want to settle. Let's be real. This guy doesn't want to settle down, in my opinion. This guy is just playing. Sorry. That's maybe I'm wrong. I can be, but I don't see.
But do you think justified to do
I don't think it's ever justified. No, I think it's weird. Like, I would never do that.
Do what? The loyalty test?
Like, just testing people.
Okay. Yeah.
Or testing for, like, no, I don't think there's justification for it, kind of ever.
Can I add on to that?
Well, let's get all the panel's answers, but yeah, you can add on.
I agree with her. Either like he likes you, and like you don't have to worry about it, or he doesn't. Like, either he does or doesn't. Like, he likes you, and like you don't need to, like, he'll show it to you, like he likes you and he's interested. And I don't think there's a reason for him to like, there's no reason for you to be like testing if he really likes you, like his loyalty towards you. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, it's either yes or no.
Like, I see the reasoning why you did that, because there were signs that were based on your gut intuition that his mind was elsewhere. So I understand why you would do that, but at the same time, usually when people pull loyalty tests, when it's really not necessary, it really shows deep down you did not trust that person, and your partner could definitely be offended by that. Doing loyalty tests without actual proper communication of like expressing your, let's say, your insecurities or anxieties about certain things, or not getting clarification on like acts and stuff like that, already leads to like a downhill towards a relationship. So it's not really as justifiable as a lot of people would think to do.
Have you ever done a test like this?
No.
Have you done a test like this? Done a test like this? Test like this? Test like this? Test like this? You mentioned that there were signs that led her to believe that he was potentially not serious or whatever, and these signs were that he was like on his phone or whatever. You guys are never on your phone at all when you're around a guy, ever?
Never.
So your phone is always, you don't check it once when you're with your boyfriend. You're never on your phone in front of your boyfriend. You've never checked your phone.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Whoa, that's cheating. Or I have now I have suspicion of you cheating. Now you've just given me justification because you looked at your phone for 5 minutes while we were hanging out. I now have justification to test you. Is that fair?
No, it really depends on
hold on. Depends on what?
Depends on the situation. So, see, I wasn't really there, so she could fully explain to you like what the interaction probably
fully
looked like.
Explain to us what he was doing besides just being on his phone.
So I would ask him questions, like first date questions, like, oh, like, where do you work? What do you do? What do you like? Your hobbies? And with me asking him those questions, he would just be on his phone. He's like, wait, what? Can you repeat that again? Because he's like texting other girls on our first date, and I didn't know he was texting other girls. I realized that when I tested him, and I did ask him, are you like talking to other girls? And he said no. So he did lie to me.
Were you talking to other guys?
Nope.
Okay, interesting. I believe that I believe you that he was probably texting other girls. He was probably not serious about what he said. He was probably playing you, whatever. But I do wonder, because you mentioned the word signs, right? If there's signs, that would be pretext or justification to do a loyalty test or some sort of test.
I can see why she would do it, but I'm not saying it's entirely right to do so.
We're gonna ask Grok, not yet, but in just a moment, what AI thinks about doing like testing your partner. But going back to the signs thing really quick, do you think it would be justification, for example, if you were like dating a girl and she posted a bikini photo, that would be enough justification for you to do a loyalty test on her? Or if she like went out to parties and dressed revealing, would that be?
No.
That's not enough justification?
I mean, again, when it comes to relationships, it's really a matter of trust, I believe. Let's say, because I do see this from time to time, where my friends would tell me like, hey, I don't know if my man's cheating on me, and I was like, okay, like, just tell me what is. Or like, it's obvious like he's clearly putting interest in something else, which happens to be his phone. When you're in a restaurant sitting down, right, you want to give your full attention to like the person you're with. You want to be in the moment, be with your partner. They're looking, smiling. You would be like asking, oh, like, what's up? Like, what's got you smiling? And if they're not willing to like, obviously like either disclose like, oh, I'm just talking to my friend. I'm like, okay, cool. But you're like, oh no, it's nothing. Then I'm like, okay, like, why is it not something that's like open to share? It could be like a cat video or anything, or it could be something funny. But if it's like something like you're like vehemently against of like disclosing, then I'm like, okay, like, it has to be like more than one instance, I believe, for sure.
Andrew, any thoughts on these sorts of tests in relationships?
Yeah, I did want to dive into it a little bit with you. Let us assume for a minute that you had a crystal ball that could tell the future. And you knew that if you DM'd all of those women, they would respond and he would then fly them out and do all of this. But had you done nothing, he would have stayed with you for the rest of your life and never gone with another woman. Just knowing that if the opportunity presented itself, at least in the beginning of the relationship, would you still have not gone with the guy?
Is this a question open to everybody on the panel?
No, I'm asking her.
So with the crystal ball, I already knew that he was doing that. Correct?
Correct. So, well, you knew that if you had DM'd all these women, that he would fly them out and this kind of thing. But you also knew that if you never did DM any of those women, that he would be with you for the rest of your life and there would be no problems because those opportunities did not present themselves. Would you still stay with him and never have DM'd those women? Or is it just the knowledge that he would do it enough?
I felt like, I guess I never trusted him, so I still wouldn't be with him regardless, because
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I still wouldn't be with him.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
But
Do you have more, Andrew, or?
I mean, not really. I'm just
okay.
figure out when we're talking about shit testing, like I understand the concept of it. You're trying to set the other person up to see what they'll do, this type of thing. But it also adds opportunities that they would not normally have, and interest from women or other people they would not normally have. And so I just kind of wonder, is it just the idea that they would do that? Or if you never shit tested them and they stayed, and gave you a good life for this type of thing, it's just the foreknowledge of knowing that enough. It's just knowing that they would have done that enough.
Let's go to Grok really quick. Let's just see what Grok says, and then we'll get the next thing going. Yep, go ahead. All right. The concept of testing a partner in a relationship can be quite nuanced depending on the methods and intentions behind the test. Here's a balanced perspective. Sometimes small ethical tests can reveal how a partner might handle certain situations like honesty or loyalty. Observing how they react to a situation where they could easily lie or cheat but choosing not to can be telling of their character. Some tests are more about creating scenarios where communication is encouraged. For example, discussing hypothetical situations. Cons of testing, let's scroll down a bit. Regularly testing a partner can erode trust. If the partner finds out they're being tested, it might lead to feelings of betrayal or manipulation, which can damage the relationship's foundation. Manipulative behavior, intentionally setting up scenarios to trick or trap someone, can be manipulative. Healthy relationships are based on trust, not on constant vigilance or proving one's worth. Insecurity, frequent testing might reflect one's insecurities rather than any actual problem with the partner's behavior. This can lead to a toxic cycle where no amount of testing will ever reassure the tester. So I do actually have a couple follow-ups on this here. So would you guys be upset, or would you be upset, since you did the loyalty test, if you got loyalty tested and you passed, but you found out that you got tested?
I always advocate for like healthy communication beforehand, and with him, I did ask him like, are you talking to any girls? Do you like any girls? And he said no, but I didn't believe him. So for me, is if I told him the truth about me not talking to other guys, then I guess it really depends if I lied to him or not.
Okay, I have. Well, I don't know if this, maybe Andrew can let me know what he thinks about this argument, but would any of you object, let's say you were married to a guy and he wanted to, you had kids with him, and he wanted absolute certainty that the kids were his, he asked you for a paternity test So this is your husband. You guys been dating for years. You got kids together. Maybe even you're married, whatever. Would you be offended if he asked you for a paternity test?
I would say yes, because it shows that he doesn't trust me. Because I feel like at that stage in marriage, it's like, if you don't trust me, then you shouldn't be with me.
Yeah, I'd be offended. And I think it would break something for sure. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but that I think that would mean there are other issues, like there's something to talk about. But yeah,
So would
I'd
you
be
refuse
offended.
the paternity test?
No, I said I'm not sure I would refuse it, but I think
Okay.
it would break something because the trust is.
Would you refuse it?
I would do it.
You would
just
do
to
it,
show proof.
but it would destroy your trust, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you do a paternity test?
I would, but I would be upset that he doesn't trust me.
You'd be upset?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Would you be
know?
upset at all?
Honestly, thinking about it, not really. Just because at that stage, I know, like, if I know my partner well and he's like a little bit anxious as a person, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Just to give you peace of mind, here, we'll do it. And then if he gets his answer and he's like, oh, thank the Lord, and I'm like, okay, like, you just wasted money and time just to do this test, but whatever, like, move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I would do it, but I do feel if there is no reason to not be trusted, I guess if I gave him a reason for him not to trust me, then I do feel that's valid. But even asking for it, I do feel it's going to ruin a lot for our relationship.
Would it end the relationship if you asked for one?
Emotionally, I'm not sure about.
You got to speak into the microphone.
I'm not sure about like physically end the relationship, but definitely emotionally for me.
Wait, it would emotionally end the...
Like the connection between
Wait, it
us.
wouldn't physically end the relationship? So you guys would still fuck, but you wouldn't be in love? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if we were having a child together, I wouldn't necessarily... I would try to find an alternative before, I guess, getting a divorce. But in terms of the emotional connection with my husband, it would break that trust agreement between us.
What about you?
I would take it. I don't think I would be that offended, to be honest. I mean, I do think, like a lot of other people mentioned, that it would be kind of a problem that we need to talk about. And I would definitely want to know where is this coming from, because I don't think those things ever come from nothing. But I would take it.
I take it. I think it's way bigger than just a relationship.
You wouldn't be upset or...
Maybe a little bit, but I don't think I'd be upset after like a while.
Anissa?
I would take it, but it would definitely be like hurtful, and it would also like indicate, like you said, like a deeper issue.
Andrew, any thoughts on the...
Yeah, I'd like to ask a slightly different question. What if he went ahead and took a paternity test without your knowledge? And then you found out about it. Would that upset you?
Yes, it's the same. I mean, it's worse even.
Yeah, but if he knew that perhaps you'd had discussions about this or something like this. If he knew that you were against this, or you thought that somehow this was him bringing your integrity into question, and so in order to spare that, right, this is perhaps he's anxious on his own part or whatever, for whatever reason, he decided that he would just go ahead and do this on his own to establish paternity. In order to not upset you, isn't he kind of in a catch-22 there? Right? Isn't he in a catch-22? Either he tells you about it and you get super upset, so he has to do that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what are his options at that point?
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't tell you, I mean, what you don't know doesn't hurt you, but
Right.
Like doing anything behind your, communication and trust is that, because even you said like it's bigger than the relationship. I mean, trust is the relationship, in my opinion. If I don't trust someone or my friends, what am I
Having
why would I be in the relationship with them? So
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not looking at this from your perspective. I'm trying to look at it from the other person's perspective. So women are always assured of paternity. That's not a thing that they ever have to worry about, right? They know it's their baby because it's coming out of them, right?
Yeah.
Men are the only ones who are ever going to have doubts about paternity. They're the only ones. since that is the case, if they wanted the peace of mind of a paternity test, which since almost all forms of family go from father to son, including the last name living on, I understand why men want a paternity established, especially now that we can do it. And for most of human history, we couldn't. I'm not even sure that, well, it's not even, I'm not even sure. I don't think that it even has anything to do with whether or not they trust their partner, but rather it's just peace of mind. So if you set up the option of, if you asked me for a paternity test, I would get super offended and I would be upset about it. What choice are you giving them except to go ahead and go behind your back?
Well, the thing is, like, my expectation is that he trusts me.
Yeah, but I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
that it's an indicator he doesn't.
Well, you think he would somebody would just get a paternity test, even if he truly trusted you? He feel like fully trusts you? Like that wouldn't make.
So, haven't you ever had intuitive doubts about things which were absurd or didn't make any sense or were kind of silly? Like, for instance, maybe you had a dream that your spouse had cheated on you, so you wake up and you start smacking them, right? And you call them names, and you're like, how? And he didn't even do anything, right? It was just like some stupid intuition that you had. And then you're like, okay, now hug me and tell me everything's okay. And he's like, I didn't even do anything. I was just sleeping, right? So you can have, I just find it kind of ironic that you can kind of have these silly intuitions and you want those fears assuaged, but when somebody else might have what you consider to be silly intuitions and you can just put their mind at ease, somehow they're the bad guy, that's a trust issue. Why shouldn't the guy look at you, if you wake them up, for instance, and say, oh, I had a dream that you were cheating, now make me feel better? Why shouldn't he say, how could you not trust me? Oh, that's awful. You don't trust me? Now we have a big issue. Why are you having dreams like that? Wouldn't that be horrible to say?
In my opinion, I feel that intuition is very different from intrusive thoughts. So if there's no, I guess, inner knowing or maybe even a sense of rationality when it comes to trusting your partner, then you are just kind of feeding into your own ego or those intrusive thoughts that they're cheating on you, but they have given no reason for you to believe that.
Yeah, but an intrusive thought is irrational, right? It's an irrational fear. There's people who have irrational fears of spiders. They have irrational fear of all sorts of different things, and they're generally not shamed for it, right? So let me give you a couple of examples. An irrational fear of heights, very common. An irrational fear, like raise your hand right now if you're claustrophobic. I'm sure at least one of you at the table is. Yep. Every single time, at least one person will be. What about fear of heights? Raise your hand if you have that. Yep. Okay. So we already have established this right here at the table. There's two people who have irrational fears, right?
Wait, Morgan,
but the thing is what?
Wait. Tell Andrew, I don't think fear of heights is irrational. That shit's irrational. Say that shit.
Brian said that fear of heights is not an irrational fear.
Yeah. What if you're 3 feet off the ground, dude? What if you're 3 feet off the ground? Then is it irrational? What about 2 feet?
Still
capacity for injury.
What if you're enclosed in a room and you just have a window and you look over and it's 50 feet down and you start getting queasy? These are rational fears. And so the thing is like if that's the case, if you have an irrational fear that a partner could easily take care of for you, like for instance, you have a bad dream. A woman has a bad dream that the guy cheated. This is so common. In fact, there's entire studies on this phenomenon, entire studies on women having bad dreams and that they don't mean anything and that it's just a silly intuition. But the number one thing that they ask their partner to do when they have that bad dream is to comfort them. That's the number one thing they ask is, listen, I know that this isn't rational, but I'd like you to comfort me anyway.
Yeah.
And so now can you imagine if you could say, okay, if we can swab your cheek right now, right? These dreams will go away from me forever. Wouldn't you want him to do that?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, wouldn't you want him to? Like, if you had dreams, recurring dreams, which you thought he was cheating, there was no evidence of cheating, right? It's all just inside your head. It's all just intuition. And all he had to do was swab his cheek, and he'd never have that dream again. Wouldn't you want him to?
I mean, I would self-regulate. I feel like that's something I would deal with myself. If there are no signs, it's really just like random and, and I'm just like, oh, Like, and I don't see how that would come up if you don't see signs. If, again, I think it would come from you.
Yeah, but you can misinterpret all of the signs, and that could lead to the dream, right? So you could misinterpret everything and have no evidence, be totally wrong. This happens all the time. Why is it okay for you to do that, just not men?
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what I mean, though, is like men could easily misinterpret all sorts of things or have all sorts of irrational fears.
Yeah.
And if you can just kind of, I can just swab my cheek and put all those fears to bed, it seems really silly to me that when the shoe's on one foot, this irrational fear is kind of fine, but when it's on the other foot, it's not, even though women don't ever have to worry about that fear because they're the birthers of the children. They always have paternity established, just not men. Well, I mean, maternity for them and then paternity for men, right?
Well, some women sometimes don't know either.
Well, they may not know who the father is, but they're going to always know who the mother is.
Oh, yeah.
Fathers though, they don't have that guarantee. Women always have the guarantee that this is my child. So, if you can have those irrational fears and ask that those things be like comforted away because it makes you feel better, I don't understand how that's not just the same thing in reverse.
Well, I mean, it is the same thing, but that's in what I said goes for in reverse as well. If a woman has an irrational fear or something, I think I deal with my shit when I know it's kind of irrational. I don't need somebody else to.
Come on. So you've never, ever in your life had an irrational fear like that and asked somebody to comfort that fear away? Like you've never had that dream? And you've never been like, okay, I had this dream and I'd like to talk to you about it just because it'll make me feel better, right? Never?
No, not really, no.
No? Okay, well, how many women...
But, I mean, I guess it's something, but no, I've never...
How many women here have had dreams that their significant other might be cheating? Yeah, or maybe seeing other people. How many times have you thought perhaps they were, even though they weren't, right? You misread the signs. Can we get a show of hands on that? Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? And so the thing is I think that if you were talking to your girlfriends the next day, you said, listen, I had a bad dream that my significant other was cheating on me. And when I woke up, he said to me, you know what? I can't believe you don't trust me. You're a rotten person. I can't believe it. That's awful. And then went and slept in another room. I think that they would all be like, what a jerk. They'd all be like, what a jerk that he did that to you. What an absolute, all he had to do was give you a hug. All he had to do was tell you it would be okay. But then somehow, though, if they ask for like the most important thing on planet Earth, which is just establishing the paternity of their child, that's some kind of big ask. And that to me is just absurd.
Well, I mean, asking for support, it's not like asking for proof. It's different.
Yeah, it is. It is asking for proof. You're asking them for the same thing. You're asking them to make you feel better about an irrational fear, about something which they know it's not true, right? So your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, they know they're not cheating on you.
Yeah.
So it's accusatory. It's accusatory to be like, even to tell them, I had a bad dream, comfort me. Yeah. That in its own way is accusatory, and it's like, so, but the expectation is like, well, they're men, they should hug us and make us feel better about this stuff. But it's like when it's on the shoes on the other foot, it's offensive, and how dare they? And I just don't understand.
It's offensive in both ways, but equivalent would be the guy not asking for a test, but asking for comfort. That's the equivalent of the situation. Be like, hey, is this me comforting and saying like, yes, he's yours? It's the same thing as like, let's say you said like the dream thing you said.
Oh yeah, sure. But let's say you could give if the girl was having recurring dreams, you said you would expect them to swab their cheek, right? Yeah, they would get rid of the dreams forever. Hey, will you just swab the cheek and then my dreams go away forever? All these bad dreams that I have about this irrational fear go away. And you're like, no, that's not appropriate. That's just silly to me. Of course, every man I could imagine would be like, yeah, sure, I don't care.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think they would care.
I highly doubt it.
I don't think they would care. I think that, every man I've ever talked to has woken up with a woman next to him who has said this to him, who has said, I think you're cheating, blah, 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 blah. And I know it's not rational. It's a bad dream that I had. It's not even true, but I had the bad dream. Make me feel better. That's
you don't think they find it annoying? You don't think they find that annoying? You don't think they feel
I think they find it annoying, but I think that because they, kind of adore the other person, that if she was like, oh, if you just swab your cheek with this Q-tip for 30 seconds, I'll never wake you up with this again, I think they would do it. And I don't even think they would complain. I literally don't even think they would complain. I think they'd be like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I think they'd do it while they were brushing their teeth. I don't think they'd care, right?
Can I interject?
Sure.
Honestly, I see your point. I feel like it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. Everyone needs reassurance, at least. If everyone has some sort of like fears or worries or anxieties, which is completely fine. That's why when, if the guy needs a swab, then to ease his mind, then I'm like, okay, sure. But it does really, again, serves like a means to just talk about like what's really going on. Because here's the thing too, like I'm someone that's like, oh, like, are you like, do you love me? Sometimes I ask like, oh, do you still love me? Like, of course. Like, why you keep asking? It's just a matter of reassurance. But there is a threshold, I feel like, where the more you are showing that anxiety, the more it indicates to your partner that you don't have enough confidence in the relationship. And I feel like having confidence, having trust again, is something that is...
Yeah, I'm not sure that I buy any of that. That's like a bizarre psychoanalysis. So here's the thing. People are vastly complex. Individuals especially are vastly complex, and their experiences are so different from one another that it's essentially impossible to even determine even the basic things of like what would make one guy a jerk might make another guy endearing. What makes one woman, a brat might make another woman, cute to other people. There's everything from presentation to voice structure to people are just overwhelmingly complex. And so a person can be an extraordinarily nice person. They can be a great person, trust you 100%, and still have an irrational fear. And it's like to be offended by the fact that you can, take that burden off their mind seems insane, because if I give you tons of examples of it happening the opposite way, it's just so common we take it for granted.
At the same time, too, I feel like, again, before you get into a relationship, you are your own person. Everyone has at least some sort of line or boundary that they set. Of course, like, once or twice, it's okay. Like, I'll let it slide, but then again, you gotta work on it. Again, a relationship is something that is between two people, and communicating to work on, like, obstacles such as, like, anxiety or going through certain, like, irrational fears. I feel like that's a beautiful thing to like, as a relationship, just to work on each other. But again, if it's not leading to like where it's gonna have any positive progress, like that's where the relationship, I feel, goes downhill. I feel like again, if we're going back to like the paternity test thing, I don't think it's that deep, but there is some like sort of like bitter feeling, but that again could be definitely worked out. A lot of things could definitely be worked out if there's communication, but I know not a lot of people here, or like a lot of people in general, are like perfect secured relationships. Some people deal with like anxiety.
Well, they could be, though. I think you could be in a perfectly secure relationship, and one person still has a fear, which is just totally irrational for no good reason.
And if you're with that person for a very long time, you know how they are. And so if
and that's what I mean is like, I don't think these things are done from a position of I don't trust you, right? I don't think these things are done from a position of I dislike you, or I think that you're a lady about town or a harlot of the night. I think that they're done because establishing paternity is something that men wish historically kings would have given kingdoms for this technology to be able to establish 100% who their heirs were going to be. They would have given kingdoms for it. And now it's right there at your fingertip for $19.99 in a Walmart. And it's like, give the guy a peace of mind, They do it for you all the time for every little crazy thing that pops into a woman's mind, right? Whatever it may be, whatever rational fear is. Oh, I heard a noise, go check it out. Okay, I'll go check it out, even though he knows there's nothing down there. Or, the car's making a noise. No, it's fine, honey. There's nothing wrong with the car. No, it's making a noise. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. There's so many times where men are kind of, operating off of taking care of the fear and irrational fears of women, and yet somehow they're supposed to kind of, women are supposed to get a pass on when it's their turn to kind of operate the same way towards men, and I've always thought that was absurd.